Hey, everybody at DDSMatch.com. This is Tom Britt, and thank you for having some interest in this programmatic advertising. I want to take you through a really quick PowerPoint presentation to kind of explain how programmatic advertising works, how we can utilize it for DDSMatch.com, and how you guys can use this to find more people looking to sell their practice. So just a little bit of background about myself. We published magazines here in Central Indiana and in Northern Kentucky. We're a franchise system. So we started doing programmatic advertising about 6 months ago. We've got licensed about March of this year. And we've got right now about 25 active campaigns running for various advertisers across our network. What programmatic advertising is, it's the ability to track somebody and target them based upon places they've been, search history, uh, maybe the browser they're using, what kind of demographic data we have about them. As you surf the web, you're working on your laptops, you're on your cell phones, you're going different places. That information is collected and used, not just from your phone, but also from data sources that are publicly available, like census data and property tax data. And it kind of creates this avatar about you. And based upon where you've been, what you're looking for, and your user history, we can target people like dentists based upon that. So define programmatic is the right message to the right person at the right time. The data is being collected and used in real time. So as people go to different places, they do different things, or they're searching something for the first time, their avatar changes, and we can start targeting them based upon their user behaviors. This is what we call programmatic display. This is what most ad sizes look like. You'll notice the two smaller ads at the top and that one square one there in the middle. That's a lot of the traffic. That's mobile advertising. The one at the bottom and the one on the right, those actually appear on websites. And so that's kind of what display advertising looks like. We're also going to talk about some video and OTT and streaming television ads as well. To kind of give you some idea about the vastness of programmatic advertising, most of you have heard of Google Ads, or you're doing pay-per-click now through Google. Google's ad network, which is not just pay-per-click, but also their ad network that goes out through various websites, they've got the one ad exchange, the Google Ad Exchange, and they can reach about 75% of all devices out there. Programmatic on the right-hand side is about 20 plus ad exchanges. And so we actually buy the inventory through these ad networks. We can actually target them because we have access right to the servers, and they reach about 95% of all devices out there. You'll notice in the middle there is some crossover. There's lots of websites out there, lots of news websites and high traffic sites that actually carry both Google Ads and programmatic ad inventory on them. So there is some overlap, but if you are familiar with Google Ads, you've done those in the past. Programmatic is very similar to that, but just has a much further reach. We can target people based upon places they've visited, like your website. We can target them based on keywords they're looking for, articles that they're reading about, maybe a location that they visited, or maybe even an event that they went to. Maybe it's a dental conference that they went to. The result on this, we do have dashboards for each of these campaigns. So if you guys did one for one of your states or one of your regions, you would have a 24/7 dashboard that shows you how many impressions are being served, how they're being served, who's seeing them, who's clicking on them, even down to who's converting, who's actually physically visiting your office after seeing advertising. On the left-hand side, you'll see the average click-through rate on most display advertising through the web is about a 0.09%. Programmatic, since it's so targeted, gets you almost double the click-through rate on average. So there's 5 tactics that we use to target people. We use all 5 of these in most cases, and I'm going to show you an example of each of the 5 and how we actually use these for DDSmatch.com. So the first one is geo-targeting. That's typically by state or by region or by territory. So what that does is put a big fence around the campaign and say, we only want to target the people inside this fence. So this will be just geographically targeted. The second one is what we call geofencing. Now, geofencing allows us to go down and go to street level if we want to. We can actually put in addresses of places. So if what I did for this example is I pulled a list of every dental office in Georgia and Tennessee. I pulled Indiana because that's where we're at, Maryland and San Diego. And all these numbers, I have Excel spreadsheets I'll send along as well. That's how many dental offices are in those states. And we can actually upload those addresses. And what happens is a virtual fence goes around that location, and we can start targeting people within that fence. And the beauty of it is, it's not their customers. We would only target those who are frequent visitors. In other words, the people that work there, not the people coming in for root canals. The third tactic is what we call keyword targeting. Now, typically, if you have a Google ad campaign, we would take those Google keywords and upload those into the cloud. And if people are searching for those words or reading articles with those words in them or phrases, they would start seeing ads for you, be targeted to see ads. So some examples on the right, selling my dental practice. How much is my dental practice worth? Or maybe business broker names that are in your territories that are also calling on dental practices. We can put all those keywords in. If somebody's searching for those, they don't even know anything about you. They be targeted on all their devices and start seeing advertising from you. This tactic is called site retargeting. This is a very, very powerful method. And we have a lot of customers who maybe have a campaign running and they'll pause it for a while, but keep this running. What this allows us to do is we put a pixel. It's kind of like a Google Analytics code. It's a little small piece of script, but it goes on your website, ddsmatch.com. And we can do this by page or by region, or we can just do it for the entire site. If we put it on the entire site, it would basically be installed on the header file of your website. So any page that somebody would see, they would get tagged. So let's assume they go DDS Match, they leave, they go to Biz Buy Sell, start looking to sell their business or seeing what other practices are worth. Well, they start seeing ads to come back to ddsmatch.com. So it's very effective. You'll notice the statistic down here, 97% of the people who come to your website do not take any action. About 70% of those across the board will actually come back if they see ads to return. Very effective method. And this last method, which I think is going to be most interesting for ddsmatch.com, is audience curation. Now, we can target people on several interests, hobbies, geography, the age of their home, how much they pay in taxes every year, whether they have a Discover card, if they're left-handed. We can target people based on several different things. But the one tactic that we can use, and one of the audiences we can target, is dentist. We know people who are dentists by state. Now, this chart here below, I did pull the analytics to see how many devices we could target by state of people that are known dentists. So some of these are a little bit bigger than others. Some of them are much smaller, but you got to think, if you are targeting Hawaii and there's 400 people, 400 devices that we know are dentists, the ability to target them is extremely powerful. So again, we would upload the list of all the dental offices and we could geofence them. Then we can actually target people who are known dentists through audience curation and target them as well for advertising. Cost-wise, just to kind of get your head around what it costs to do this, it's not terribly expensive. Display advertising, which are those ads I showed you earlier, the 5 ads. If you run those types of ads across the network, it's about $10 to $15 CPM or per thousand. So to give you an example of what that would cost, if you bought 100,000 impressions, it cost you $1,500. If you bought 250,000 impressions, it cost you $2,500. If you get 1 million impressions, it's still a $10 CPM or $10,000. Now, those campaigns can run on a calendar by month. You can do them by week. You could do this for 3 months and spread out those 1 million impressions over 3 months. You have total flexibility on the delivery of those campaigns and also the time frame of those campaigns, and also how many impressions you want to buy and what cost you're willing to take. One of the other things that we do with programmatic is streaming television ads, and these are very, very effective. We have access to every Netflix is on here. Netflix is not one we can actually target. Netflix and Hulu are the only two that we can't buy through the network because they sell their inventory themselves. But every other streaming network out there, we can buy streaming television ads in 15 or 30-second increments for $75 CPM. Now, If you guys have ever bought television before, you know that's a screaming deal. That's a good price. And not only that, you're only showing these ads to people who are dentists, or you're showing the ads to dental offices because they've been targeted, or people who are dentists at home and then they start watching streaming television and they would see these ads. So they're only people being targeted, or maybe they went to your website, they've been site retargeted. They would start seeing commercials for you before they watch maybe The Office on Peacock. Now, these pre-roll ads, these are ads on all the websites, the video ads. You guys have seen these before. You go to a news station, they show the highlights from the new news, they show clips of different things, or Major League Baseball shows clips of what happened last night on a baseball game. Those non-skippable pre-roll video ads are about $30 per thousand. So a little less expensive, but these are going through just normal websites that people would be visiting. And then these are the networks we actually can target with commercials on streaming television. Remember, 80% of America has unplugged from cable. So this is 80% of the inventory out there you're able to target through programmatic advertising. So these networks and others that, like I said earlier, the only ones we can't target are Netflix and Hulu because they sell all their inventory direct. They do not use an ad exchange, but we can target anybody else. And again, if there's a network in particular that you know dentists like, maybe a History Channel or certain channels or certain shows that they watch, we can actually target your ads that only run on those channels. That's basically my presentation. We'd love to get you guys involved and get you guys started. I think one of the cool things about this is you guys have a very unique niche and a very, very, very targeted audience of people. We can actually target even more than this. If you guys would like to maybe target dentists over a certain age, we can do that as well. If you want to get people in dental schools who are not dentists yet, but they're working towards that, we can target them. And maybe the messaging is different for them as a buyer versus somebody looking to sell. However you guys want to skin it, I'm more than happy to take those calls and questions. And again, my information's on the screen, so let me share this one more time with you. Feel free to scan that QR code and fill out the form. I can get in touch with you. My cell phone and my email, tom@townpost.com, is also in the lower right. Look forward to talking to you guys, and have a great time at your conference. And enjoy Indianapolis. The weather is fall after all. Thanks, everybody.